Okay, so the last part that I want to cover, and I'm not going to cover this one because this one should be the most straightforward, but this one right here is that we want to plug in values into our equation. So what we want to do is that usually I'll plug in -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, and based on these coordinates, I'm going to go ahead and graph them on this graph. Okay? So what happens is that if I were to plug this in, what this would look like would be that y would be equal to -1/2 times -2 squared. So that would be -2 squared, which is 4, times -1/2, which is equal to -2, right? -2. So 4 divided by 2, and then times a negative equals -2. This one, same thing. I'm going to go ahead and multiply. I'm going to square or multiply -1 squared first. So that's 1 times -1/2 equals -1/2. This right here is -1/2 times 0 squared, which is equal to 0 because 0 times any number is 0. And -1/2 times 1 squared, again it would be 1 squared, which is 1 times -1/2 equals -1/2. And then lastly, if I plug in 2, -1/2 times 2 squared, that's 2 squared is equal to 4, times -1/2 is equal to -2. So I can go ahead and graph this. I can just go ahead and make a normal graph here. Just make a normal graph. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to plot this. I have the different points. I have -2, -2. I have -1, -1/2. I have 0, 0. I have 1, -1/2. And I have 2, -2. So if I can plot this out, it would be -2 is 1, 2, down 2, 1, 2. There's a point. I have -1, -1/2. It's about right here. I have 0, 0, 1, 1/2, and 2, 2. So you can see the graph is going to look something like this. I can go ahead and connect it, go ahead and make it look like a U-shaped. Again, remember, it's going to look like a U-shape whenever it has a squared. It has a square. So my graph is going to look something like this. My last graph here, again, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and plug in numbers. So again, I'm just going to plug in. I like to plug these numbers in because usually they're very, very easy to plug in. So remember that when you plug in, when you do 2 to the -2, it becomes the same one, but over as a fraction. So 2 squared is 4, but then it becomes 1/4, because again, the negative changes it into the reciprocal, right? So this becomes 1 to the -1 equals 1. 2 to the -1 is 1/2, right? So it'd be 2 to the -1/2, which is equal to 1/2, right? Anything to the 0 is equal to 1. So anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. 2 to the 1 power is equal to 2. And 2 to the 2nd power is equal to 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to graph this normally. So let's go ahead and graph this normally. So sometimes you want to draw your axes different based on your numbers, if it's too big or too small. So here, if I plug in -2, 1, 2, I have -1/4, which is about right there. -1, 1/2, that's about right here. 0, 1, that's right here. 1, 2, it's about right here. Oh, sorry, right here. And then 2, 4, 2, 4 is about 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. So my graph would look something like this. It would look something like that. So I want to make sure that when you have something to the x exponent, it's going to look something like this. Your graph is going to look something like this. And just for kicks, again, I can just plug in numbers here, -1, -0, 1, and 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug these values in. So -3 times -2 plus 4, and that's equal to +6 plus 4, that's equal to 10. So -3 times -1 plus 4, that's equal to +3 plus 4, That's equal to 7. Negative 3 times 0 plus 4 is equal to 0 plus 4, which is 4. Negative 3 times 1 plus 4 is equal to negative 3 plus 4, which is equal to positive 1. Negative 3 times 2 plus 4 is equal to negative 6 plus 4, which is equal to negative 2. So again, I can plot these as points, so negative 2 comma 10. And I'm going to make this graph a little bit lower. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my axes a little lower because I am graphing all the way up to 10. So I have negative 2 comma 10, so 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I have negative 1, 7, so 1, so 9, 8, 7. And then 0, 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 1, which is right here. And then 2 comma negative 2 is right here. So if I were to draw this as a line, you can see that it would look something like this. Okay. So my expectation for this last portion is to graph these and also to use tables to graph these last portions. Hope that was helpful.